Welcome to Simple Local Life, everyone. It's Jen, and I am back at Earth Angels Home Care here in Bridgewater. And I want to say welcome to everyone watching and say good afternoon to Tamara. How are you, Tamara?
I'm fine, thank you, Jen.
Good.
How are you?
I'm good. It's cold.
It's cold. It's bright.
It's very bright. Yes, we're kind of in front of the window, and it's. I hope. I think you guys can see us okay. But yeah, it's a little bright and a little snowy out this way. It's January.
It's
okay,
January.
we're
Yes.
deep in it now. It's happening. But we're moving along, and the month is going, and so far not too bad. So you know.
Yeah.
So in case this is the first time catching our series with Earth Angels Home Care, this is a caregiving talk series that we do every other week. Tamara, just remind everyone what your role is here with Earth Angels.
So I'm the client care manager here at Earth Angels.
Okay.
And I oversee the office, of course, and go out do the assessments and hire and
all the things.
Teach a little bit of everything.
It's a little bit of everything. Yes. So you're the primarily the client care manager here at the Bridgewater office.
Yes.
Okay, great. So if you caught us last week, and I thought it was a really important discussion, and again, I think we're continuing that discussion around Alzheimer's awareness. January is Alzheimer's Awareness Month, and I know this is a topic that you guys deal with here a lot is Alzheimer's and dementia, and just kind of trying to educate people on what that all encompasses and what that means.
It's a very big subject. Very big subject. Yes.
It is. And one thing I just wanted to mention at the start of the video is Earth Angels Home Care is actually giving away a ticket for the Alzheimer's Awareness Breakfast that's held every year. It's here in Bridgewater.
Yes.
And it's actually being held this Friday. The ticket's worth $40. If you're interested in going, I know I'm going to direct you later to the Earth Angels Facebook page, but just write your name underneath. Just leave a comment and click yes, please, or interested, and I'll send you a message when the video's done and direct you on how you can have a chance to win that ticket. And the draw will be done tomorrow, so you'll have time to plan and go and hopefully maybe have a chance to win the ticket. So
Sure.
You'll be there at the breakfast?
Yes, I'm part of the Alzheimer's Awareness Breakfast Committee. So this breakfast has been going on, I think this is the 5th year.
Wonderful.
And it's to raise awareness in the community about Alzheimer's.
Raise that awareness, and I'm sure feel that support in the room, and kind of just, build that education and information for everyone.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, great. So if you're interested, just write down below, click yes or interested. And if you know anyone whose family is dealing with Alzheimer's or dementia, or someone that you care about is, if you think you'd like them to see the video, just maybe consider sharing this video, and then they'll have a chance to see it as well. So as I mentioned, Tamara, we're just going to kind of continue on. We had so much information last time, and we didn't have enough time to kind of cover all the topics that we wanted to discuss.
No.
So I know when we were talking about dementia, we kind of you refer to that as like an umbrella term.
Yes.
So what does that mean exactly? It falls underneath that umbrella.
So dementia is the umbrella.
Okay.
And the various types of dementia fall underneath that umbrella. So you would have like Alzheimer's disease is the most prominent type of dementia. Then you would have
That's okay.
you'd have a vascular dementia.
Yes.
You might have a Lewy body dementia. So there's over 100 different types of dementia out there. Alzheimer's being the most prominent.
Okay, so there's lots of different terms and lots of different variances that fall. Dementia's the umbrella.
Yes.
And all of those are underneath of that. Okay.
Yes.
So that's important to, I think, kind of differentiate when it comes to thinking about dementia and Alzheimer's, kind of understanding those different levels or different kind of classifications.
Or types of dementia, yes.
Okay,
yes.
Okay, perfect. And I know another thing that we mentioned last time as well was that dementia is progressive.
Yes.
So what exactly does that mean? If someone's just kind of starting this and they've heard, oh, this is going to be progressive, what does that mean for someone?
So when you say progressive, it means there's 4 truths about dementia: that it's chronic, it's progressive, like you said, it's terminal, and it affects more than one part of the brain. It usually affects 2 or more parts of the brain.
Okay, so there's a lot there to think about when if you're getting that news, then it's a lot to kind of take in and kind of understand and what that's going to look like, I guess, as time goes.
Yes.
And that's why it's so great you guys are here, because you can help people understand what that means. And I know your caregivers are committed to that positive approach to care, which helps families, I think, understand that process as it does progress along, I guess.
Right. So we often hear the words when somebody has dementia, the early stages, the middle stages, and the late stages.
Okay.
Well, here we use the positive approach to care, and TIPA usually refers to those stages as gems. So what TIPA will tell you is, in the right environment, with the right care, the person living with dementia can shine.
Okay.
So, and she calls them gems. So there's various gem states that come out with the TIPA Snow positive approach to care.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that. I just love that. It just really speaks to that positive approach to care and TIPA's Snow method in just the wording and the kind of language that you use around it. Like you said, it's kind of, it feels much more of a just a more loving, I think, more warm and kind of just easier way to accept, I think, and just kind of deal with that as a family then, or as caregivers, to understand that and you know, hey, who doesn't want to be a gem?
That's
so,
right.
You know.
That's right. Yeah. So TIPA refers to the gems. So she refers to them as the sapphire. So the sapphire would be like you and I, true blue.
Yes.
You know, we can live our days out. You know, we might forget things. We might be slower to process things, but you know, we're kind of, that's who we are, right?
I'll take it.
And then you move on to like a diamond state. So you're more rigid, you're more firm.
Yes.
You know, you get stressed. Even stress can cause you to be diamond, but we can switch back to a sapphire stage by taking that nice deep breath, right? So a diamond stage, you know, you might repeat yourself, you might be hard to understand some new information.
Okay.
And then we move on to what's called the emerald stage.
Okay.
So when you think of the emerald, you know, they desire, you know, it's green, it's go, they desire independence, you know, you're noticing some ability in their changes, their communication might, you know, be a little off, you know, they might have difficulty finding their way around kind of thing. And so then we move on to the amber stage. So the amber, you know, they're focused on sensation, so, you know, tactile things, smells, anything like that. They have no safety awareness, so we have to become their safety awareness. Okay. And then your ruby state is kind of like the ruby is getting into the late stages where they can retain rhythm. So sometimes they might not understand the spoken word, but they understand music, poetry, and prayer, and usually you can get somebody, you know, communicating with you through music, poetry, and prayer. Okay. And then, of course, the pearl stage is your very end stages where, you know, they're kind of just curled up, and TIPA describes it as, you know, the oyster, the outside of the oyster, you know, might look very ugly, but when you open that up, there's that shining pearl on the inside. And so that person, when you're looking at them in the late stages, there's still a light there. There's still a pearl inside.
Oh my, this is so touching. I always find this really touching, and it's just such a beautiful way to kind of approach you know, someone who's going through this or dealing with it at this stage of their life. Have you guys heard, I'm just curious if you guys have heard of this kind of emerald or gem stages. Gem stages that TIPA uses as a description. I had never heard of it before, and I find it just really beautiful, and what a wonderful way to kind of look at those advances as people go through.
TIPA says, you know, with the right compassion and understanding and in the right environment, you can really make these people shine like gems, right? And build on the skills they have.
It's just such a great, approach, and just so heartwarming to hear it described in this way, because sometimes, like I said, the language, like you said, even describing the stages can kind of just be kind of hard to handle as a family member, so or loved one or caregiver. So this is just such an encouraging and more positive language.
Absolutely. So. Yeah.
Well, that was lovely. I enjoyed hearing about that. So I know the one thing you did talk about, though, and just to get kind of, I guess, a bit more serious on it, is dementia is described as being terminal. So how would you describe that? so they are going to die from dementia, are they?
Eventually somebody could die from dementia. Now the myth is that nobody really dies from the dementia, that they might die from a pneumonia or another ailment that takes them, but the brain eventually can, eventually just die down and stop the mechanism to tell your heart to keep beating and breathing, sort of thing, right? So people do die from dementia. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Just so we can understand when you hear terminal, what that means, and then what you're sort of what that could look like, I guess, for you. And I know you talked about the brain. So dementia it kind of affects different parts of your brain, does it?
Yes. So people you will usually notice somebody will forget a name or word finding difficulty, or they're forgetting to put things somewhere. But it's a multifactorial thing. So there's more than one part of the brain being affected.
Okay.
So they could get confused. Their wayfinding might become impaired. Somebody walking down the hall might not recognize where the bathroom was anymore because they're thinking about where they grew up in their own homestead, kind of thing. It could affect your executive function, so your ability to multitask and all the things you have to do while you're driving. So it's not just or your decision making. Should I or should I not? Right. Take that step forward, and so it affects a multitude of your brain, not just the memory.
Okay. Oh, that's important to understand. I think too, because a lot of people just think, oh, it's your memory, and once that starts to go, that's what we're dealing with, but it's really different parts of your brain that can be affected.
Absolutely. And so early on in the beginning stages, it's very easy for somebody to mask the symptoms of dementia.
Yes.
Because they know that something's not quite right, so they can socially kind of hide that, right? It's very easy for you to get up in the morning and put on your makeup and go into a doctor's office for 5 minutes and say, yes, I'm okay.
Okay.
Right? So it's the other things that people notice around the house that they're doing that are the bigger triggers that you need to be looking for.
Just watching for those and kind of, keeping track and just
Absolutely.
making note. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And I know we talked about it at the beginning, but there are then other types of dementia besides Alzheimer's. There's various other kinds. You said over 100?
So there's over 100 types of dementia. Alzheimer's being the most prominent one. About 65 to 70% of all the dementias out there are the Alzheimer's type.
Okay.
And then the most second is your vascular dementia. So all those things that we the doctors talk to you about, your diabetes, your heart health, your obesity, your exercise, your proper food intake that cause all those various diseases. They put you at risk for vascular dementia. So your vascular dementia is your second most prominent. Right?
Okay, so good now, any time of your life to be paying attention to, what you could be doing health-wise, I guess, to kind of help to guard a little bit against that, or just trying to pay attention to your own health to protect yourself, not just against dementia or Alzheimer's, but so many diseases.
The risk factors, we always say healthy heart, healthy brain. So, you have to you can modify some of those risk factors on your own by eating healthy, not smoking, exercising, all those things, right?
Okay, all those things we know we should be doing, and January we start to pay a little more attention to. So
those New Year's resolutions.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah.
And I know another question I hear sometimes is, does dementia just affect older people, or is there an age bracket that, when people start to watch for it, or?
So again, it all goes back to your comorbidities and your disease process. Somebody, typically Alzheimer's would not, you wouldn't see anybody under 65 usually with Alzheimer's. An Alzheimer's type dementia, usually the risk factor is 65 and up, kind of thing. Okay. So, but now if somebody is an obese diabetic that is not watching their diet and exercise, they could certainly have a stroke, which could cause a vascular dementia. Or somebody with a brain injury.
And that can happen then before 65.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, great. Well, this was so much good information, and I know a lot of people, we got a lot of feedback on our last video chatting about Alzheimer's and dementia and the awareness around it. So if people are seeing some of the memory loss issues, that certainly seems to be the first one people start talking about, where would they go then for next steps?
So you should certainly seek help early. Go see your family physician, and your family physician can run a multitude of tests. They can do some memory testing. They can do some blood work, you know, like we talked about last time. So, yeah, certainly if
That's
you're
the
noticing,
first step.
your first step is to see your family doctor.
Yes.
You can always go online too and look up the Alzheimer's Society of Nova Scotia or the Alzheimer's Society of Canada, and then you can always call the office here. You know, I can chat with you at any time as well.
Okay, great. Well, this was another really great informative session. I'm really enjoying these so much. I just feel like I'm learning so much, and I know a lot of you guys have sent feedback that you're learning a lot too, which is really important. That kind of education and awareness just kind of, I think, makes it easier for everyone as they kind of work through whatever situation they might be dealing with. So I just want to remind everyone again that there is an Alzheimer's Awareness Breakfast coming up this week on Friday morning, and Earth Angels Home Care here in Bridgewater would like to give away a ticket. So I'm going to direct you to go over to their Facebook page, but if you're interested, if it's not up just yet, I know Roseanne's out this afternoon. She's doing some training, but just right underneath the video, just click interested, and I will send you a private message directing you on how to do that. But by all means, if you're watching this later, go to the Earth Angels Home Care Facebook page, and they will have all the instructions there for you on how to get in to win a ticket to the Alzheimer's Awareness Breakfast being held this Friday. Yes. Well, thank you so much, Tamara. I really enjoyed this again, and hearing all of these tips and kind of information around Alzheimer's and dementia. Yes. And I hope you enjoy yourself at the breakfast on Friday.
And I hope to see somebody out there.
Yes. They're really excited to give away a ticket to the breakfast.
We've got some very good speakers this year. You know,
wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. What a great chance to kind of be surrounded too with other people, you know, who might be in your situation. Or I know there's caregivers and loved ones and health practitioners and all kinds of people. So if you're interested in, or if you don't want to win a ticket, how would they get information? Is there still time to buy tickets?
I think they have till the end of tomorrow to buy tickets.
Okay. Yeah. So is there a link somewhere I could share maybe?
You can go to the Nova Scotia Alzheimer's website.
Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect.
Purchase your ticket. You can contact the office.
Okay, I'll find a link for that. But if you want a chance to win one, head over to Earth Angels Home Care South Shore Facebook page. Well, thanks again, and we will see you guys in 2 more weeks. And have a great afternoon, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, Tamara.